I don't know, grade A areas, office areas. Could you run through some of those?
Yeah, sure. If you just walk, like you just mentioned, if you just go into a grade A office, you will just forget where you are. So a grade A office in New
Exactly.
York will look exactly like a grade A office in Dubai,
Yeah.
and it'll be same in Miami. It's all over the world, right?
I'd make one observation here, though, at this point. I would put forward maybe that grade A offices in Dubai, in the UAE, probably across the Gulf, are probably cleaner than they are in many other cities. I don't know if you noticed that. I always think that.
Probably two reasons. They're newer,
Could
and
be.
it's cheaper to find a lot of cleaning stuff here.
True, but I always feel that. It's funny, the number of people I meet that come here, friends, family come over, and this is completely off topic, but I know you'll understand, you'll appreciate this. It's, you go to a hotel and have dinner or something, and they'll always come back from the restroom, and it will always be, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
The toilet, there are towels, and there's always this kind of sense of wonder at, the quality of the facilities.
Funny,
I didn't mean to go to toilet facilities.
Funny you mentioned about this, because I don't know how I could express this, because I normally grade a restaurant by going to the toilet.
Well, good to know. But it's interesting. But I know exactly what you mean. I think a lot of people do the same. You can really gauge the quality of an establishment on how they take care of facilities. And I don't just mean toilet facilities. I just mean, it's that kind of attention to detail, and that's the point, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And coming back to this, the grade A buildings.
Yeah.
So the moment you step in, or even before you step in, when you go to the parking, there's ample parking space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So might be paid, but that's fine.
Sure.
That's there. Then the moment you take the lift, you're coming into the lobby. The lobby is first class.
Yeah.
I mean, good reception. There's a lot of things happening. You just wait for your turn, take a token, whatnot. Security, impeccable security. Just anybody cannot just walk in.
Okay.
Right? So that's happening. And once you go into the thing there, you are looking at the lift. These are high-speed lifts. Double, triple level of the floor to ceiling space. The high ceiling, high entry. The thing that gives the feeling of luxury, right?
It really does. And you talk about lifts, and it's these lifts that you call from outside, or ones that go to specific floors, and you get in, and there's not a button to be pressed. And I always I stand sort of looking around, thinking, "Well, this is going to be fine." But you're right. All of these systems. So it's kind of the technology, it's the grandeur, it's the security, it's the parking. All of those things come together. Smart building systems.
The smart building systems, sustainable. They are all pretty much all LEED certified, well certified. So they take care of everything. So and the reason why big firms prefer it is because it's image, it's optics. Plus, you do want to attract the best talent to work for you. And you're also looking at, apart from the parking, you need F&B outlets, because you want your staff to come and, they can have a good time after the work, or they can have lunch at nice places. So that is important. So they take care of a lot of restaurants.
That's an important point, and I guess DIFC is a case in point there as well, because you've not just got your kind of standard coffee shops, good as they may be, and the small grocery, the retail areas. You've got restaurants that are kind of anchor restaurants that create a destination in and of themselves as well, don't you know?
Yeah, DIFC is a business case. I mean, the thing is, you have gyms, you have Pilates studios. You're talking about the NAD drips, those kind of clinics. You have your salons, high-end barber shops. You have bespoke tailoring, whatnot.
NAD drips. There's another thing. We were talking about that last week on this very program. So the tenants for grade A offices these are the big boys, aren't they?
Yeah. Very big boys with deep pockets. We're talking about multinational companies. We're talking about the big four professional firms, law firms, consultancies, the big names, whoever wants to.
The banks, okay. And then rents, obviously, are priced
record-breaking. We're looking at just over 300 to 500 dirham per square foot a year.
That's 24.
That's in DIFC, yeah. That's 24, 25.
25. Okay,
just
we'll,
cross
we'll keep that in mind, 300 to 500 per square foot when we move down towards Grade B offices in a moment and Grade C offices. So Grade A, who chooses Grade A? I mean, I know the big boys are in there, but this is blue chip, and you mentioned a couple of things there. So, it's optics, you said. I think that's obviously very important. Employee attraction. You want the best
That's right,
people. But it's also, isn't it, the efficiency.
Efficiency plus the family offices are moving in, right?
Right.
So and they also need a full setup.
Okay. And they sign longer leases, I guess, as well.
That's the best part about the commercial spaces, right?
Ding,
So
win-win.
I'll come back to the difference between the commercial and the residential a little bit later on.
Okay. How do we define Grade B offices? Fair to say mid-market, really?
Mid-market, similar, but obviously the buildings are slightly dated. Well, they used to be newer, but then now it's dated. But not the specs aren't that great. I mean, we're talking about ample parking, but not as much as it's just adequate.
Okay.
It's not less, it's not really more. You do still have some reception area, security. The lifts are a bit tired.
Okay.
You might have 5 or 6 lifts for the entire building.
Right.
And some these kind of buildings are also office spaces. They also might be mixed use. So there might be some residential units are also in these kind of buildings. I'm talking about Business Bay. I'm talking about JLT. These kind of areas.
Okay. Parts of Sheikh Zayed Road, maybe?
Sheikh Zayed Road, the older ones, basically, yeah.
The older ones are Sheikh Zayed Road. Okay. So a little bit older, less well located, maybe not quite as central.
No, actually, these are kind of centrally located. Business Bay is centrally located. But the thing is, there's a lot of buildings there. And it's not the best of standards.
Okay. All right then. So we looked at conditions, facilities, technology, but maybe not.
Definitely not the smart ones. Definitely
not buildings.
Not smart buildings. Not the certified. Not the LEED and sustainability. I mean, it was not a thing back in the days. So these things actually come. It will keep evolving. I will not be surprised if they say that every building should have a vertiport. Going forward, because obviously the air taxis are coming up in Dubai, right? So that will be the new definition of probably the Grade A.
Okay, I'm with you. Tenant profile for Grade B?
Tenant profile, basically pretty much any regional office, smaller companies, SMEs are good. Your normal trading companies are fine. I would say this would put about 50 to 60% of the market here, actually. The smaller companies who are not Grade C, but who doesn't want to spend or cannot spend to the level of Grade A.
Okay.
So that's pretty much a lot of companies in Dubai.
Bear in mind that the price, DIFC Grade A rents, for example, let's take that as the kind of the benchmark, I guess, crossed between 300 and 500 dirhams a square foot in 2024, 2025. Prices, for mid-level Grade B commercial real estate, what are we looking at?
Anything around 90 to less than 200, 180, 190 kind of levels.
It's a huge difference.
A big difference, yes.
Yeah, okay. Depending on the area, of course, but up to about 180. Why would you choose Grade B?
A Grade B is something which I need a certain size of office. So if you look at most of the companies here, you are looking at around the 20 to 40 people, and they will need bigger spaces. And obviously, if I cannot afford to have that Grade A office, and I don't want to be in a Grade C office. So this is something where it's reasonably priced for a larger unit size.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you're at that point in your company, you're 3, 4, 5 years in, you need to make the jump, and you're looking at something else. Okay, let's define Grade C offices, the value segment, the budget segment.
I mean, there is a big demand for that as well, because obviously not everybody can afford everything. And when you are a startup, you need something very affordable.
Yeah.
Or you might be part of a big business, but then you are running a back office operations. So when you need a lot of space for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So then you obviously go for Grade C offices. And typically Grade C offices are normally, you can still find them in Sheikh Zayed Road. But the real ones, if you look at it, it's Tera, it's Dubai, it's Karama, Alcos, that kind of areas.
Okay, and these are, more basic buildings, I guess. The amenities are not quite as...
Amenities, forget the amenities. You might have one lift for the entire building. Then Parking, very few, then rely on public parking. It's that basic.
Okay.
I mean, because you get what you pay for.
No, you do. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just interesting to look at, these things and look at, the differences. Because in some ways they're stark, but, everybody has to start somewhere, let's be fair. Often secondary locations, maybe converted residential or commercial spaces, some of these as well, I
definitely,
guess.
definitely.
Okay. We know where they are. Older lobbies, the condition of the building, the layouts maybe not as efficient. They weren't maybe designed for purpose.
See, it was built a while back. All this, the new specs came in later on.
Yeah.
So you just can't blame what was built before. You cannot destroy those buildings, right? I mean, somebody has to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're making money out of it as a landlord, why not?
Older wiring, air conditioning systems work differently.
So you fix it when you break it, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Amenities minimal. Tenant profile for grade C office buildings.
Startups, maybe one or two guys, operations, they just want to test the waters. Small trading companies who just, again, who moved in from a different country to explore the Dubai market. They might initially start here and then probably move on to a grade B when they can afford to.
Yeah, okay. And I guess you mentioned something there that I thought was interesting, actually. For maybe some of the larger companies, you'd have like back office operations in offices like this. And that makes sense for a number of reasons. Clearly, the space is less expensive, but it might be better for the staff in the building. So perhaps, proximity to work is something that's important. These kinds of things you need to take into
Because even the staff would be living in those areas.
Possibly.
These are the affordable areas, basically.
Yeah.
So if the work is very close to them, then why not?
Yeah, okay. Rent for grade C. Let's just relive the DIFC experience, 300 to 500 dirhams a square foot in grade C, the budget element.
50 to 100, 120. That's the best case scenario, probably.
Depending on the district. All right, then. So, I mean, it's good to just look at those things. I think a lot of this is reasonably obvious stuff, but it's good to be able to sort of compare and contrast and to sort of think it through, talk it through.
But having said that, the thing is, it is better to go for a grade C office than going for a residential studio in the middle of nowhere.
Okay. No, I get the logic there. But if you're constrained by budget, you need, I don't know, it might be you're able to find a nice open space to put your company, to work on a particular project or whatever it is, or if you're just at an early stage.
That's true.
In your business, okay. So why are commercial units a better investment than a residential unit in Dubai?
And that's very, very particular to Dubai, actually.
Yeah.
And most people don't know it. Because if your number of visas or the number of people that you can hire is directly proportional to your office space.
Yes, okay.
So visa is dependent on the office space that you have. So if I have, say, 20 people now, if I am and I have a certain square footage, if I want to have 100 people, they will say, show me your office space. They have to come and inspect the premises, and they say, no, this place is not equipped to handle 100 people.
Okay, fair enough.
So that's one part. The second part is the rental yields.
Right.
The rental yields in commercial offices, you are looking at anything between 8 to 12% in prime districts. Whereas, which is very high. Yeah, but if you're looking at a residential unit, you're looking at anything between 5.5 to 7.5%.
Okay. That's significantly better. Because what? Longer leases?
Definitely. See, and that's the beauty of it. So when you are a landlord, you buy something shell and go. The tenant will do all the fit outs. They will upgrade it the way they want it.
Right.
And since they're putting in money, they're not going to leave immediately. So your leases are longer. So basically, you're talking about 3 years to 5 years, and then plus renewal options.
Okay.
So which in turn is actually giving you more net yields. Because when you're when you're leasing a residential unit, the contract is typically for 1 year. They might or may not extend it. But here, definitely you know that they're going to extend it. So in between, you lose a certain period. Say if you have a residential unit and somebody leaves, you're looking at around 1 to 1.5 months of vacancy. till you find another tenant. So you're losing income there.
Mm.
So, but then in this case, you pretty much are guaranteed 3 to 5 years. So there is no loss at all. So the net rental yields are way higher in commercial than residential.
Okay, so really long-term, really stable tenancies,
That's right.
and you're saying 3 to 5 years there, but at the rate of growth we're seeing here in Dubai, in the UAE, I guess 3 to 5 years is pretty conservative, surely.
Yes, conservative, and because and why is this happening? Because again, that's another advantage of going for a commercial space.
Yeah,
Developers are launching tens and thousands of residential units every year,
yeah,
but very few commercial spaces.
yeah,
Reasons. The reasons are it is very easy to cram up a lot of studios and one bedrooms, and then because it will easily sell out. The developer is going to make money anyways.
mm,
But the commercial spaces, it takes a little bit of the entry prices remain the same as per square foot. But if you really have to buy something, you have to buy something around the 1,000 to 2,000 square foot area, which may not be possible for everybody.
mm.
The initial outlay is slightly higher.
Yeah, okay,
So,
okay.
and the main example I can tell you, there are two projects which is happening in Motor City in the residential area. One unit is a boutique developer. The total number of units is 563 only. The other development, there are more than 563 studios in that unit.
Right. Okay. Okay. No, I'm with you. I understand that. So I always look at whenever I introduce you when you come in here, I always say Ajay Menon. He's the CEO of Luxe Vista Real Estate, and I for some reason I kind of tie you with the residential brush, and I hadn't thought really to talk about commercial real estate with you until you sent this topic through, this commercial of commercials. But it is so important to discuss because we're all kind of, I don't know. It's really all about the headline stories, villa here, an apartment here, and oh, look at this great villa on the Palm.
So villas are glamorous, and
Yeah.
villas are glamorous. The Palm is glamorous. Then again, your Grade A offices are extremely glamorous, and it's people with deep pockets who can get in. But the actual number of transactions are happening are very mid-market. You're looking at anything between that under the 2 million range.
Mm.
So those people can buy only residential units. That is why you hear a lot of people, brokers, everybody talking about residential units rather than commercial units.
Mm.
Commercial is a different niche, and it's actually you need to have that appetite to own a commercial space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to talk probably a little bit at some point in the not too distant future about places like Al Quoz, for example, where this is traditionally a very commercial, very mechanical. This is where the original, I don't know, cement plants were and everything else. But that kind of real estate, because that's all being reused in so many different ways.
Funny you bring that subject because
interesting.
when Dubai Hills Estate was launched, people said, no, it's not going to work out. It's going to be it's. I mean, and this is exactly what happened with Expo as well. When Expo they launched, they said it's next to DIP. What they forget is Dubai Hills is just behind Al Quoz, which is the biggest industrial area in the entire Dubai.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
it's one of the best performing communities.
But I think that's, for anybody that lives here or has looked at Dubai with any, through any kind of sensible lens, people will always say, oh, that'll never work. And, invariably it does.
What was Burj Khalifa before? It was a military camp.
Well, that's a very good point. The days of defence roundabout, AJ.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got the rose-tinted spectacles on at the moment. Do you know what? That's all the time we've got, but it's always good to talk to you. Ajay Menon is the CEO of Luxe Vista Real Estate, remembers defence roundabout. He's been here a long time. Good to talk to you.
Likewise, Tim.
Appreciate it. Thank you. This is Mira Business FM.